Verse 15. Apocalypse. Apocalypse revealed. One second. And the kings of the earth, and the great ones, and the rich, and the rulers of thousands, and the mighty, and every servant, and every freeman, signifies those who before separation were in the understanding of truth and good, in the science of the knowledges thereof, in erudition,
Erudition. Erudition.
erudition, either from others or from themselves, and yet not in a life according to them. That this is the signification of the above words in their order that can be known by those who know what is signified in the spiritual sense by kings, great ones, rich, rulers of thousands, the mighty, servants, and freemen. For by king, in this sense, are signified they who are in truth, by great ones, they who are in goods, by the rich, they who are in the knowledges of truth, by rulers of thousands, they who are in the knowledges of good, by the mighty, they who are in erudition, by servants, they who are in such things from others, thus from the memory, by freemen, they who are in such things from themselves, thus from judgment, but to prove the signification of all these names from the word would be too prolix. Prolix.
Prolix.
Prolix. Tiresome. Prolix. Would be too prolix. What is signified by kings was being shown before, and what by the rich, what by great ones is evident from Jeremiah, Nahum, Jonah. For great is predicated of good, that mighty and servants and freemen, such as are in erudition, either from others, from themselves, will be seen below. It is said, they who are in these things, and yet not in the life according to them, because the evil year, the worst, may be in the science and in the understanding of the knowledges of truth and good, and also in such erudition, but because they are not in life according to them. They are not in them actually, for what is only in the understanding and not at the same time in the life is not in the man, but is out of him, as it were in a court, but that which is at the same time in the life is in the man, it is within him, as in the house. Therefore the latter are preserved, and the former rejected. Hid himself in the caves and in the rocks on the mountains signifies Signifies. Symbolize, signify. Signifies that they were now in evils and in the false cities.
Signifies.
Signifies, signify that they were now in evils and in the false cities of evil. To hide themselves in the caves and in the rocks of the mountain signifies to be in evils and in the false cities of evil, because they who pretended before the world that they were in the good of love and yet were in evil after death hide themselves in caves. And they who have pretended that they were in the truth of faith and yet were in the false cities of evil hide themselves in the rocks of the mountains. The entrances appear like holes in the earth and like clefts in the mountains, into which they betake themselves like serpents betake. Betake, like go, depart. Into which they betake themselves like serpents and there hide themselves. That such are their abiding places I have frequently seen. Hence it is that by caves are signified the evils with such, and by holes and clefts the falsities of evil in the following passages. In the day they shall go into the caves of the rocks and into the fishes, like cleft, fishes of the cliffs, when Jehovah ariseth to terrify the earth. In the day they shall go into the clefts of the rocks and into the fissures, fishes, like fish, fishes of the cliffs for dread of Jehovah, to dwell in the fissures of the valleys, in holes of the earth and in the rocks. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, who dwelleth in fissures. In the day they shall come and shall rest in the rivers of desolation and in the fissures of the rocks. Their palace shall be a desert, their hillside and towers shall be for caves forever. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, that dwellest in the holes of the rock. And they shall hunt them from upon every mountain and hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. They shall not be hidden before me, neither is their iniquity hidden. In the day the suckling shall play on the hole of the viper, and the wind shall put his hand on the cave of the basilisk. Wind. Wind. It's like suckling and wind. Suckling shall play on the hole of the viper, and the wind shall put his hand on the cave of the basilisk. Verse 16. And said to the mountains and rocks, fall upon us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth upon the throne, and from the anger of the Lamb, signifies confirmation of evil by falsity, and of falsity from evil, until they did not acknowledge anything divine in the Lord. Mountains signify the loves of evil, thus evils, and rocks signify the falsities of faith by falling upon them, and hiding them signified to be defended against influx from heaven. And as this is done by confirmation. confirmations of evils by falsity and of falsity from evil. Therefore, these are signified by hiding themselves from the face, hiding or hiding, mhm.
Hiding.
By hiding themselves from the face of him that sitteth upon the throne, and sitteth upon the throne, and from the anger of the lamp is signified until they do not acknowledge anything divine in the Lord. By him that sitteth on the throne is meant the divine of the Lord from whence are all things, and by the lamp is meant himself as to the divine human, the Lord as to both was upon the throne, as has been shown above. It is said, from his face and from his anger, because all they who are in caves and rocks dare not set foot out of them, nor even put forth a finger, by reason of the pain and torment consequent on doing so. This is owing to the hatred which they bear against the Lord, even to their not being able to name him, and the divine fear of the Lord heals. Mhm. And the divine sphere of the Lord feels all things which they cannot remove from themselves except by confirmations of evil, by falsity, and of falsity from evil. The delights of evils do this. Similar is the signification of this passage in Hosea. And they shall say to the mountains, cover us, and to the hills, fall upon us. And in Luke, then shall they begin to say to the mountains, fall upon us, and to the hills, hide us. That this is the spiritual sense of these words cannot appear in the letter, but it appears in the spiritual sense from this, that when the last judgment is executed, they who are in evil and desire to be in good suffer hard things in the beginning, whereas they suffer less on such an occasion who confirm themselves in their evil by falsities, for these last cover their evil by falsities, but the former bear their evil, and in this case cannot endure the divine influx, as is seen in what follows. The caves and caverns through which they cast themselves are correspondences. Verse 17. Because the great day of his anger is come, and who is able to stand, signifies that they were made as such of themselves by their separation from the good and faithful, on account of the last judgment which otherwise they could not endure. The great day of the anger of the Lamb signifies the day of the last judgment, and who is able to stand signifies their inability to endure it by reason of their torment. For when the last judgment is at hand, the Lord together with heaven approaches, and of those who are below in the world of spirits, no others can endure the Lord's coming but those who are interiorly good, who shun evils as sins, and look to the Lord. That the day of the Lord's anger signifies the last judgment is evident from the following passages. Before the fierce anger of Jehovah come upon you, before the day of Jehovah's anger come upon you, it may be ye shall be hid in the day of Jehovah's anger. Anger, how to pronounce rightly.
Anger.
Anger. Jehovah's anger. Behold, the day of Jehovah cometh, cruel both with indignation and wrath of anger. Anger. The great day of Jehovah is near, a day of wrath, a day of straightness and distress, a day of darkness and thick darkness. Straightness. A day of straightness. What is this?
Straightness.
Straightness. It's like straightness is like suffocation. Straightness and distress. Distress, a day of darkness and thick darkness. Thy anger is come, and the time of the dead to be judged, and to give reward unto thy servants, and to destroy them that destroy the earth. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and ye perish in the way, because his anger is kindled quickly. Happy are all they that trust in him. To the above I will add this relation. I saw some of the English clergy assembled to the number of 600 who prayed to the Lord that they might be permitted to ascend to a society of the higher heaven, which being granted them, they ascended. And when they entered, they saw the king, the present king, grandfather, the present king's grandfather, and they were glad, who went up to two bishops that were among them, whom he had known in the world, and entering into discourse with them, asked them, how came you here? They replied that they had made supplication to the Lord. Supplication. What's this?
Supplication.
It's like plea, petition, prayer, supplication. Had made supplication to the Lord, and it was granted them. He said to them, why to the Lord and not to God the Father? And they answered that they were so instructed below. And he said, did I not sometimes tell you in the world that the Lord ought to be approached, and also that charity is primary? What reply did you then make concerning the Lord? And it was given them to recollect that they had made answer. Recollect.
Recollect.
It's like recall, remember, recollect. That they had made answer. That when the Father is approached, the Son also is approached. But the angels who were about the king said, you are mistaken. You did not think so, nor is the Lord approached when God the Father is approached, but God the Father is approached when approach is made to the Lord, because they are one, like soul and body, who approaches a man's soul, and thus his body. When a man is approached as to his body, which is seen, is not his soul also approached, which is not seen? To this they were silent, and the king went up to the two bishops with two gifts of his hand, saying, these are gifts from heaven. They were celestial forms of gold, which he wished to present to them, when a dusky cloud covered them and separated them, and they descended by the way. Dusky, like shining. No.
Dusky.
Dusky, like dark, dim, dark, dusky, darkly, dark. The way that they had come up, and they wrote these things in a book. The rest of the English clergy who had heard that their companions had been permitted to ascend to the higher heaven assembled at the foot of the mountain, where they waited for their return. On their return, they saluted their brethren and related what had happened to them in heaven, and that the king had presented the bishops with two celestial forms of gold, most beautiful to behold, but that they fell out of their hands. Then they went out of the public place into a grove which was near, and discoursed among themselves, looking about to see if anyone heard them. But nevertheless they were heard. Their discourse was about unanimity and concord. Unanimity.
Unanimity.
Mhm. It's like oneness, unanimity, unanimity and unity. Concord. What is this?
Concord.
Concord like harmony, consent, agreement. Concord, unanimity and concord. Their discourse was about unanimity and concord, and then about supremacy and dominion. Supremacy and dominion.
Supremacy.
Supremacy like leadership, supremacy. The bishop spoke, and the rest ascended. And on a sudden, to my surprise, they no longer appeared as many, but as one great figure, whose face was like the face of a lion, having on his head a turret mitre. Turret.
Turreted.
Turreted. It's like tower. Turreted. A turreted mitre on which was a crown, and he spoke in a lofty tone and walked proudly. And looking behind, he said, "Who else has a right to supremacy but me?" The king looked down from heaven and saw them, first all as one, and afterwards as several unanimous. Unanimous?
Unanimous.
Unanimous, yeah, unanimous. Like unity. As several unanimous, but most of them, as he said, in a temple address. Mhm. Revelation, next chapter 7, Revelation 7. Hello, everybody. Maybe someone wants to read next next chapter.
Sure, I'll read it if that's okay with you.
Can I have a question first?
Yeah, go ahead.
What version is that? What version of Bible? Is that King James or New International?
I think it's King James because it's like old English language.
Yeah,
No,
thank you.
this. uh Go ahead.
All right, yeah, cool. So, chapter 7, 342 through 386, Revelation 7. After these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the rising of the sun, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a great voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hunt the earth and the sea, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God upon their foreheads. And I heard the number of them that were sealed, 144,000, sealed out of every tribe of Israel. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000. After these things I saw, and behold, a great multitude which no one could number, of every nation, and tribes, and peoples, and tongues, standing before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes, and palms in their hands, and crying with a great voice, saying, Salvation to our God that sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. And all the angels stood around the throne, and the elders, and the four animals, and before the throne on their faces, and adored God, saying, Amen, blessing, and glory, and wisdom, and thanksgiving, and honor, and power, and might be unto our God for ages of ages. Amen. And one of the elders answered, saying unto me, Who are these that are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? And I said unto him, Lord, thou knowest. And he said unto me, These are that they come out of great affliction, and have washed their robes, and made their robes white in the blood of the Lamb. Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them, and they shall not hunger any more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun fall upon them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto the living fountains of waters, and God shall wipe away every tear from their eyes. The spiritual sense, the contents of the whole chapter. In this chapter it treats of those who are and will be in the Christian heaven, and first of their separation from the evil, verses 1 through 3, after that, of those who are in love to the Lord and thereby wisdom, of whom the higher heavens consist, verses 4 through 8, and of those who are in charity and its faith from the Lord, because they have fought against evils, of whom are the lower heavens, verses 9 through 17. The con, Revelation 7, verse 1, tense of each verse. Verse 1, After these things I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, signifies the entire heaven now in the effort to execute the last judgment. 342, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree, signifies a withholding and restraining by the Lord, of a nearer and thence more powerful influx into the lower parts, where the good were conjoined with the evil. Verse 2, And I saw another angel ascending from the rising of the sun, signifies the Lord providing and regulating. Having the seal of the living God signifies who alone knows all, and each, and can distinguish and separate them one from another. And he cried with a great voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. Verse 3, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, signifies the presenting and withholding by the Lord of a nearer and stronger influx into the lower parts, till we have sealed the servants of our God upon their foreheads. Signifies before they are separated who are intrudes from God, from the Lord. Verse 4, And I heard the number of them that were sealed, 144,000, signifies all who acknowledge the Lord as the God of heaven and earth, and are in truths of doctrine from the God of love, from the good of love, from him through the word. Sealed out of every tribe of Israel, signifies the Lord's heaven and church composed of them. Verse 5, Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000, signifies celestial love, which is love to the Lord, and this with all who will be in the new heaven and the new church. Of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000, signifies wisdom from celestial love, with them who will be there. Of the tribe of Gad were sealed 12,000, signifies uses of life, which are of wisdom from that love, with those who will be there. Verse 6, Revelation 7, chapter 7, verse 6, Of the tribe of Asher were sealed 12,000, signifies mutual love with them. Of the tribe of Naphtali were sealed 12,000, signifies the perception of use, and what use is with them. Of the tribe of Manasseh were sealed 12,000, signifies the will of serving and of action with them. Verse 7, Revelation 7, Of the tribe of Simeon were sealed 12,000, signifies spiritual love, which is love towards the neighbor with them. Of the tribe of Levi were sealed 12,000, signifies the affection of truth from good, from whence comes intelligence with them. Of the tribe of Issachar were sealed 12,000, signifies the good of life with them. Verse 8, of the tribe of Zebulun were sealed 12,000, signifies a conjugal love of good and truth with them. Of the tribe of Joseph were sealed 12,000, signifies the doctrine of good and truth with them. Of the tribe of Benjamin were sealed 12,000, signifies a life of truth from good according to doctrine with them. And verse 9, after this I saw, and behold, a great multitude which no one could number, signifies all the rest who are not of those enumerated, and yet are in the new heaven and new church of the Lord, and who constitute the ultimate heaven and the external church, whose quality no one knows but the Lord alone. Of every nation and tribes and peoples and tongues, signifies all in the Christian world, who are in religion from good and in truths from doctrine. Standing before the throne and before the Lamb signifies hearing the Lord and doing the things which he commands. Clothed with white robes and palms in their hands signifies communication in conjunction with the higher heavens and confession from divine truths. Verse 10, and crying with a great voice, saying, Salvation to our God that sitteth upon the throne and unto the Lamb, signifies acknowledgement from the heart that the Lord is their Savior. Verse 11, and all the angels stood around about the throne and at the elders and at the four animals, signifies all in the whole heaven. Verse 12, saying Amen signifies divine verity and confirmation therefrom. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving signifies the divine spiritual things of the Lord, and honor and power and might signifies the divine celestial being things of the Lord. Be unto our God for ages of ages, signifies these things in the Lord, and from the Lord to eternity. Amen signifies the consent of all. Verse 13, and one of these elders answered, saying unto me, Who are these who are arrayed in white robes, and whence came they? Verse 14, and I said unto him, Lord, thou knowest, signifies the desire of knowing and the will of interrogating, and the answer and information. And he said unto me, These are they that come out of great affliction, signifies that they are those who have been in temptations and have fought against evils and falsities, and have washed their robes, signifies who have cleansed their religious principles from
What is this interrogation?
asking, it's inquiry.
Oh, asking. Thank you.
Question, interview, ask, inquiry.
Mhm.
And have watched their robes, and signifies, let me just finish that part, signifies the cleansing their religious principles from, signifies,
From.
from the evils of falsity, and made their robes white in the blood of the Lamb, signifies and purified them from the falsities of evil by truths, and those who have been reformed by the Lord. Verse 15, therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them, signifies that they are in the presence of the Lord, and constantly and faithfully live according to the truths which they receive from him and in his church. Verse 16, they shall not hunger any more, neither thirst any more, signifies that hereafter there shall be no lack of goods and truths with them. Neither shall the sun fall upon them, nor any heat, signifies that hereafter they shall have no lust to evil, nor to falsity of evil. Verse 17, for the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, signifies that the Lord came alone will teach them, and shall lead them to living fountains of waters, signifies, and shall lead by truth of the word to conjunction with himself. And God shall wipe away every tear from their eyes, signifies that they shall no longer be in combat against evils and their falsities, and thereby in grief, but in goods and truths, and thence in heavenly joys from the Lord. I don't know if that's another chapter, if you want to read that one.
Yeah, we read verse by verse because it was like short explanations, and this is like a full explanation of every verse. Verse 1. Who? Maybe someone wants to continue? Verse 1.
So this is just to make sure, like, I get the context. This is an exegesis by Swedenborg, right? So he's taking parts of Revelation from parts of Revelation, and then he's writing some explanations about the meaning.
Yeah, it's about spiritual meaning. This is this book, Apocalypse Revealed, by Manuel Swedenborg. It's about spiritual meaning of the book of Revelation of the Bible.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I haven't read Swedenborg. I know about Swedenborg, but I hadn't read anything by him yet. That's really cool.
I mean, are you familiar? Are you familiar with his books? Books of Swedenborg? Yeah. No.
Yeah, I'm familiar with his work. I know he's a
uh,
theologian, kind of like a philosopher and mystic as well. I know about Heaven and Hell. That's probably the biggest work from him about the afterlife.
yeah. It's a great book. It's a great book of his. Yeah, Swedenborg is a genius, and his books are very smart and wise. He has third highest IQ in history. His IQ is 206. That because his books are very wise and smart. And I believe if I will read his books, I will be more smart and wise because our
Yeah, and you're also going to get to practice, the vocabulary as well.
yeah. Yeah, your reading is very very good. Is English your first language? Yeah.
Yes, it is well, it's kind of hard for me to say first language. I also do speak Spanish natively, so I do have both. Just because of like the family that I grew up in, so I do speak both.
Yeah, your reading is very good. It's good to listen to your
I
reading.
appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, I read this verse in my turn, and we read verse by verse here. It's like explanation, and we can discuss it if you have any comments, maybe.
Okay.
Verse Verse 1. Afterwards I saw four angels standing on the four corners of the earth, signifies the entire heaven now in the effort to execute the last judgment on those who were in the world of spirits. Many things now follow concerning the state of the spiritual world just before the last judgment, which no one could know but by revelation from the Lord. And since it has been granted me to see in what manner the last judgment was executed, and also the changes which preceded it, and the arrangements which followed, I am thereby enabled to relate the signification of all the particulars contained in this and the following chapters. By the four angels is here signified the entire heaven. By the four corners of the earth is signified the entire world of spirits, which is in the midst between heaven and hell. For the last judgment was executed on those who were in the world of spirits, but not on anyone in heaven, nor anyone in hell. The reason why the angels signify heaven is because an angel, in the highest sense, means the Lord as to the divine human. And as heaven is heaven from the Lord, by the angels is also signified heaven. The four angels here signify the entire heaven because they were seen standing on the four corners of the earth, and by the four corners are signified the four quarters. The reason why the above words signify the effort of the entire heaven to execute the last judgment is because the Lord, when the judgment was at hand, caused the heavens to draw near over the world of spirits, and by this approach of the heavens, such a change of state in the interiors of the minds of those who were below was effected, that they saw nothing but terrors before their eyes. That corners signify quarters, quarters, and thence the four corners and quarters may appear from the following passages. Ye shall measure without the city, the corner towards the east, the corner towards the south, the corner towards the west, and the corner towards the north. Thou shalt make the boards for the habitation, for the corner of the south, and for the corner of the north. Mhm. And he means in this sense, like it's about the meaning corners. Corners. And the court for the corner of the south, for the corner of the north, for the corner of the west, and for the corner of the east. The four quarters are also called the four corners, frequently in Ezekiel, as in chapters 70, 47, 48. Because corners signify quarters, therefore they also signify all things, as all things relating to heaven or hell, or of good of truth, as is plain from these passages. Satan shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth. I have cut off the nations, and their corners are devastated. Israel was gathered together as one man, and the corners of all the people stood up. A scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall break in pieces the corners of Moab. A day of trumpet and alarm, and upon the high corners. I will cast them out into their farthest corners. That a corner signifies the ultimate, 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 yeah, ultimate,
Ultimate.
ultimate, like final. That a corner signifies the ultimate, which sustains things higher as the foundation does a house, and thus also all things appears. From these passages, he will found in Zion a cornerstone, a precious established foundation, and they shall not take of that stone for a corner. Mhm. It's like cornerstone. It's about corner. He will found in Zion a cornerstone, a precious established foundation. Yeah, it means that like corner is about foundation. Yeah. And they shall not take of that stone for a corner. From Judah shall be a cornerstone. The stone which they rejected is become the head of the corner, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree, signifies a withholding and restraining by the Lord of a nearer and thence more powerful influx into the lower parts, where the good were conjoined with the evils. It is to be known that the last judgment takes place when the evil are multiplied below the heavens in the world of spirits to such a degree that the angels in the heavens cannot subsist. What is subsist? Cannot subsist.
Subsist.
And it's like exist, dwell, feed. Cannot subsist in their state of love and wisdom, for in this case they have no support and no foundation. And as this is caused by the multiplication of the evil below, therefore the Lord, in order to preserve their state, flows in with his divine more and more strongly, and this continues until they can no longer be preserved by any influx, without a separation of the evil below from the good. This is effected by the letting down and drawing near of the heavens, and thence by a stronger influx, until at length the evil cannot endure it, and then the evil flee away and cast themselves into hell. This is also what is signified in the foregoing chapter by these words. They said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him that sitteth upon the throne, and from the anger of the Lamb, for the great day of his anger is come, and who shall be able to stand? But to proceed to the explanation, by the four winds is signified the influx of the heavens. By the earth, the sea, and every tree are signified all lower things, and the things that are there. By the earth and the sea, all lower things, and by every tree, all things there. That wind signifies influx, properly the influx of truth into the understanding, may appear from the following passages. Thus saith the Lord Jehovah, come from the four winds, O Spirit, and breathe into these slain, that they may live. They were seen four chariots, to which there were four horses. These are the four winds of the heavens. Mhm. Ye must be born again. The wind bloweth where it willeth, and thou knowest not whence it cometh, and whither it goeth. The maker of the earth prepareth the world by his wisdom. He bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Jehovah causeth his wind to blow, and the waters flow. He, he announceth his word, his statutes and judgments. Jehovah praised the stormy wind doing his word. Jehovah maketh his angels winds. Jehovah was carried upon the wings of the wind. The wings of the wind are divine truths which flow in. Therefore the Lord is called. The breath of the nostrils, and it is written, the breath he breathed into the nostrils of Adam, the soul of lives. The soul of lives. Also that he breathed on his disciples and said, receive ye the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the divine truth proceeding from the Lord, the influx of which into the disciples was represented, and thus signified by he breathed upon them. That wind and respiration signify the influx of divine truth into the understanding is from the correspondence of the lungs with the understanding on which subjects see the angelic wisdom concerning the divine love and wisdom, as therefore a nearer and a stronger divine influx through the heavens disperses the truth with the evil. Therefore wind signifies the dispersion of the truth with them, and thence their conjunction with hell and destruction, as may be seen from these passages. And upon Elam I will bring the four winds from the four ends of the heavens, and will disperse them. Thou shalt disperse them, that the wind may carry them away, and the storm dissipate them. Dissipate, what is this?
Dissipate.
Dissipate, like disperse, scatter. Dissipate them. The breath of Jehovah, like a stream of brimstone, doeth kindle them. The contrivers Contrivers. What is this? Contrivers.
Contrivers.
Contrivers. Contrivers.
Contrivers.
Contrivers. In like schemer.
Schemer.
Schemer. The contrivers of iniquity perish by the blast of God, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. The foundations of the world were revealed by the rebuke of Jehovah, by the blast of the breath of thy nostrils. I saw in vision, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strove upon the great sea. Strove. Strove, like rush, struggle. Strove upon the great sea, and four beasts came up. From the storm of Jehovah, anger is gone forth, it shall rush upon the head of the wicked. O my God, pursue them by thy storm, terrify them by thy tempest. Terrify them by thy tempest. What is tempest?
Tempest.
Tempest like storm. Tempest. The way of Jehovah is in the storm and tempest. He saith that the wind of the storm shall blow. God maketh the storm to be calm, that its waves might be still. Hence it may appear what is the signification of these words in their spiritual sense. Jesus in the ship rebuked the wind and said unto the sea, Be still, and it was quiet. And by the sea is here signified hell, and by the wind influx thence, nor is anything but thrown and flux signified by the east wind, nor by the same wind which drived up the Red Sea, concerning which it is thus written by Moses. And with the blast of thy nostrils the waters were heaped up. Thou didst blow with thy wind, the sea covered them. From what has been said, it may now be seen that by holding the four winds, that the wind should not blow on the earth is signified to withhold and prevent a nearer and a stronger influx into the lower parts. Any comments, maybe? And,
Dreamlands. What is that?
sorry, what? What is?
What is that?
It's Apocalypse revealed by Manuel Swedenborg. It's about spiritual meaning of the Book of Revelation of the Bible.
Oh, are you a religion?
Yes, but actually I'm learning English from this book, and I try to understand his point of view. Because Swedenborg is a very smart and wise person. He has third highest IQ in history. His IQ is 206. It's about this book is about mind. Actually, it's about matrix maybe and simulation theory. I think a theory of simulation is from books of Swedenborg and Matrix too. If you saw the movie Matrix,
Yeah, I did.
yeah, actually it's about this because God is like a programmist, a programmer, and we live in a computer program like
Yeah, software
Matrix.
engineer. Software. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the world of information. Like there are two parallel worlds. The first world is the world of information, like a spiritual world, and physical world is the outer world, like outward world, but spiritual world is inward world. It is inside. Matrix.
From what has been said, it might now be seen that by howling the four winds, that winds should not blow on the earth.
Man, shut your
Single
fucking
field
mouth. Shut your fucking
of it
mouth.
don't
Let me
and
read,
prevalent
man.
narrower and stronger in flux into lower parts.
What is this?
No.
We read verse,
Okay.
verse by verse here, and who wants to read next verse, verse 2?
And with the blast of oh man, I can't.
Oh shit!
From-
And
from
with
the Innocents, the
and
waiters.
with the
Then
blast
heap
towers
it up
in
to
the
blow
waiters
with
and
my van.
rapids
Sea covered
the
them.
two ways
From
in
what
the
has been said, it might now be seen that by holding the four winds
exalts
the wind
5,000,
should
5,000
not blow on the earth
kardeşim.
is sinafet amgay withhold and prevent nearer and stronger
Anlarsın ki.
I'm about to fucking nuts flux into the lower parts.
Verse 2. And I saw.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
babe.
another angel escaping from the rising of our sun. Seeing feels their lords prowling and regularly an angel is fucking lord as to dive in love because high is humor to from the Islam of the sun and from the rising of the sun or from the east is from Camber Gümüş for into Hakan Gümüş spor salonu the Lord the 7x5 cable fly and Necla Press in
Sorry, I don't understand what you are reading. Where do you read? I don't
bro
see.
okay 4 çarpı 10 cable crossover Weber push down close grip bench press of triceps rope push down leg press calf makine reverse grip
Can
lat
you-
pull down
Can you don't blow into your microphone because
Bağırma diyor, bağırma.
I hear your
okay,
breath
sorry,
like
sorry.
it's like you are blowing on your
Deadlift.
microphone.
Patlıyor diyor, patlıyor. Explode. Patlıyor.
Excellent.
It's horrible.
Deadlift lat pull down hyperextension barbell shark dumbbell shark so talents as to that low that he was providing and modern times is evident from his command to the four angels, not to hurt the earth, and the sea till the servants of God were sealed onto theirs. For hers that the Lord's divine human is made by an angel into hangers in the world, manifest from the passage. The angel of the face of Jehovah delivered them on accounts of his love, accounts love and his pity.
Oh shit.
He redeemed them and he bare
Baran Kalaycı.
Yeah.
Marakalaycı them and carried them all the days of ether. But you skip it, bro. You tell.
I'm reading right now. Okay,
Yes.
wait. I'm gonna open my camera. Oh, wait, guys. Oh, shit.
Speak, bro.
Wait, I'm gonna...
Read.
Can you keep your microphone far from your mouth because I hear your breathing like it's like you
Okay.
blowing into a microphone. I
Hello,
hear
they are
your
doing it intentionally. They are trolling. I'm
The
telling
angel
you.
will read with me from all evil bless them. The Lord whom you see shall suddenly come to his temple, and the angel of the covenants whom you desire. Behold, I set an angel
Desire.
before the to keep the in the way before of his foes for my name. Oh my God!
My name is in. Go on.
Go on, bro. Go fucking on. Let's
Who wants to read? Next.
straight. Okay. The midst of him explodes angel and sand in the Hebrew language are
Language. Language.
language
Lang-
are expressed by own words.
One.
One
One.
word. It is the Lord so often says himself, said by the Father, by which is meant the
Meant.
meant 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 the divine human
Divine.
human
Divine.
divine human, but an angel in a in a relative
Relative.
a relative sense in everyone who receives the Lord, but
Receives.
receives
Receives.
the Lord, but in heaven and in the world, having the seals of the living good,
Living. Living
good,
God.
signifies. Yes, bro. Yes,
Signifies.
let's bro. You skip it to you, Sven.
Evet.
Who alone knows all and each, and can distinguish. Oh, how man,
Distinguish.
how distinguish,
Distinguish. Listen.
distinguish.
Listen to correct pronunciation.
Distinguish.
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 Okay. And can distinguish and separate them one from another since we are sealed on their foreheads with a seal there for by having the seal of the living God. As spoken of the Lord is meant to know all and each, and to able to distinguish and separate the servants of God from those who are not servants of God. And he cried with a great voice to the four.
Angels. To the four angels.
Your turn. Bultem kardeşim.
Mhm.
Your turn.
To the four angels. Who is reading? Who is next?
Angels to whom it was given.
I'll read the next.
Right next.
Yeah, I'll read the next.
Okay, bro. You read. Cool.
Yeah, me read very good.
Go ahead.
Go
me
ahead.
read now.
You know.
If you want to read, do it.
Where? From where?
From the top. Angels.
Angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the tree, signifies it.
Erşen Burger'e gelmiş. Alo, dibimde.
Ya gidelim. DM geldi.
Dibimde, Kur'an çarpsın
What is
dibimde.
going on?
Oh,
Sorry.
fucking explodes.
Are you trolling
They're
here?
trolling. Yeah, they are trolling.
We're reading the book.
Me read now.
If you want to chat, maybe you can go to the next to another channel, because
No, me read.
it's a book reading channel. I am learning English from this book.
I'm reading.
Go ahead.
Preventing and withholding by the Lord of a nearer and stronger influx into the lower parts. That this is the significance of those words is evident from the explanation above. In the sense of letter, it was the four angels that withheld influx, but in the spiritual sense, it was the Lord. Not to hurt the earth, the sea, nor the tree signifies that they should not operate by a vehement, but by a moderate influx.
What
the Lord
is this vehement?
vehement. Let me see.
Vehement.
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 It's like strong, furious, fierce.
Vehement, like
Like,
very strong, man.
mhm.
Vehement, but by moderate influx. For the Lord, by various degrees of influx into the heavens, disposes the regulators, tempers, and moderates all things there and in the hills and through the heavens and the hills, all things in the world. 347 till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Signifies before they are separated who are in truth from good from the Lord, those who are interiorly good. By sealing them in their foreheads is not meant to seal them there, but to distinguish and separate those who are in the good of love from the Lord. For the forehead signifies the good of love, that they who are in truth from good from the Lord are meant, because these are signified by the servants of God. The reason why the forehead signifies the God of love is because the face is the image of the man's affection, and the forehead is the highest part of the face, the cerebrum from which is the origin of all things of man's life being immediately under the forehead, as the forehead signifies the love, good love in the good, and evil love in the evil. Therefore, by sealing, I gotta go by. I am going now. Bye. Swedenborg, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm leaving now. Bye.
Okay. Goodbye. See you. Thank you for your reading. Therefore, by sealing them on their foreheads is signified to distinguish and separate one from another according to the law. Similar is the signification of this passage in Ezekiel. Go through the midst of Jerusalem and seal a seal upon the foreheads of the men and sigh over foreheads of the men that sigh over the abominations. As the forehead signifies love, therefore concerning the plate of gold on the mitre of Aaron, on which was engraved holiness of Jehovah, it is written, mitre.
Mitre.
Mitre is like head. It is written that it should be over against the face of his mitre, that is, might be over the forehead of Aaron, and that it should be upon the forehead of Aaron continually, that they may be in good favor before Jehovah. And moreover, it was commanded that these words thou shalt love God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, were to be upon the hand and upon the forehead, that they should have the name of the Father written on their foreheads, and the name of God and of the Lamb of their foreheads. It should be known that the Lord looks at the angels in the forehead, whilst, what is this, whilst, like during, although, whilst they look at their Lord through the eyes, by reason that by the Lord looks at all from the good of love, and wills that they on their part should look at him from the truth of wisdom. In this manner conjunction is effected. The forehead in the opposite sense signifies evil love in these passages, who have the mark of the beast on their forehead. and also the name of Babylon upon their foreheads. The forehead of a woman, a harlot, obdurate of forehead and hard of heart. Obdurate. What is this?
Obdurate.
Obdurate. Obdurate, like stubborn. Obdurate. Of forehead and hard of heart. Thou at heart, and thy forehead is brass. Forehead is brass.
Brass.
It's metal. Bronze, like bronze. Brass. Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed. 140 and 4,000 signifies all who acknowledge the Lord to be the God of heaven and earth, and are in truth of doctrine from the good of love from him through the word. The these are signified by 140 and 4,000 out of the 12 tribes of Israel, is because the 12 tribes of Israel signify the church from those who are in good and truth from the Lord, and acknowledge him as the God of heaven and earth by the number 144,000. All these are meant, for by this number the same is signified as by 12, since it arises by multiplying 12 into 12, and then by multiplying it by 100 and by 1,000, and any number whatever multiplied into itself, and then by 10, 100, or 1,000 was a like signification as the original number. Therefore, the number 144,000 signifies the same as 144, and this is the same as 12, because 12 multiplied by 12 make 144. So likewise, the 12,000 sealed out of each tribe, being multiplied by 12, make 144,000. The number 12 signifies all and is predicated of truth from good, because 12 is the product of 3 and 4. 12 is the product of 3 and 4 multiplied by each other, and the number 3 signifies everything as to truth, and the number 4 everything as to good. Hence 12 in the instance signifies everything as to truth from the good of love. Okay, once again, it's like 12 is a product of 3 and 4 multiplied by each other, and the number 3 signifies everything, everything as to truth. Okay, and here is about 44,000 signifies signifies the same as 144. 144. 100. Okay, and this is the same as 12, because 12 multiplied by 12. 12. 12 multiplied by 12 make 144. Okay, that's right. So likewise, the 12,000 sealed out of each being of each tribe being multiplied by 12 make 144,000. Okay. Item 2. The tall numbers signify the what's this? Adjuncts. 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 Adjuncts is like appendage. Addition. Addition. Adjuncts. Adjuncts.
Adjuncts.
That all numbers signify the adjuncts of things appear manifest from numbers in relation, which were they without some specific signification, would yield no sense whatever in many places. From what has been said, it may be seen that by 144,000 sealed and by 12,000 out of each tribe is not to be understood that so many were sealed and elected out of the tribes of Israel, but all who are in the truth of doctrine from the good of love. Love, from the good of love from the Lord. This is what is signified in general by the 12 tribes of Israel, and also by the Lord's 12 apostles. But in particular, some truth from good is signified by each tribe and by each apostle. But its signification of each particular tribe shall be explained presently. Since the 12 tribes signify all the truths of doctrine from the good of love from the Lord, they also signify all things of the church, in which account the 12 tribes of Israel represented the church, as did also the 12 apostles. As 12 is predicated of the truths and goods of the church, therefore the New Jerusalem, by which is meant the Lord's new church, is described by the number 12 in every particular as that. The length and breadth breadth of the city was 12,000 furlongs. What is breadth? Like length, breadth.
Breath.
Breath is like breathing. Hmm. I don't understand. The length and breadth. Maybe we can see in dictionary what is breadth. Breath. It's about breathing actually. Okay, I don't know. The length and breadth of the city was 12,000 furlongs. Furlongs. If it is about measuring,
Furlongs.
I don't understand what is breadth here. If it is about measuring, okay. And the city was 12,000 furlongs. That the wall thereof was 144 cubits. 144 is 12 multiplied by 12. That there were 12 gates, and the gates were of 12 pearls. That over the gates there were 12 angels, and the names written on the 12 tribes of Israel. That the wall had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb, and they consisted of 12 precious stones, as also that the tree of life was there, bearing 12 fruits, according to the 12 months. Concerning all these particulars, see chapters 21, 22, from such as are here treated of the new heaven is formed, and the new church is forming by the Lord, for they are the same who are mentioned in chapter 14, where it is written of them. And I saw, and behold, the Lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000. And they sang a new song before the throne, and no one could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth, for they are virgins and follow the Lamb whithersoever what is this? Whithersoever.
Whithersoever.
Whithersoever. Whithersoever. Whithersoever he goeth. Because the 12 tribes signify the Lord's church as to all its truths and goods, therefore the number 12 became a number of the church and was used in its holy ceremonies and solemnities.
Solemnities.
Solemnities, like celebration, solemnities, as in the breastplate of judgment, in which were the Urim and Thummim, there were 12 precious stones. The 12 loaves of faces,
Loaves.
loaves. That 12 loaves of faces were put upon the table in the tabernacle. Loaves of faces. About face,
Loaves of faces.
the 12 loaves of faces were put upon the table on the tabernacle. That Moses built an altar below Mount Sinai and erected 12 pillars. The 12 men were sent to explore the land of Canaan. The 12 men brought 12 stones out of the midst of Jordan. The 12 princes at the dedication of the altar brought 12 chargers of silver, 12 bowls of silver, 12 censers of gold, 12 oxen, 12 rams, 12 lambs, and 12 he goats. That Elijah took 12 stones and built an altar. That Elijah found Elisha ploughing,
Plowing. Plowing.
Elisha plowing with 12 yoke of oxen, and himself among the 12, and then he cast his mantle upon him. That Solomon placed 12 oxen under the brazen sea. That he made a throne and 12 lions standing at the steps of it. That on the head of the woman who was clothed with the sun there was a crown of 12 stars. From what has been said it may now be evident that by 144,000 sealed, 12,000 out of each tribe are not meant so many in number of the Jews and Israelites, but all who are of the new Christian heaven and the new church who will be in truth of doctrine from the good of love through the word from the Lord. Sealed out of every tribe of Israel signifies the Lord's heaven and church from heaven. But a tribe is signified religion as to the good of life, and by every tribe is signified the church as to every good of love and as to every truth from that good, from which is the good of life. For there are two things which make the church: the good of love, and the truth of doctrine. The marriage of this is the church. There are 12 tribes, the good of love, and the truth of doctrine. The 12 tribes of Israel represented and then signified the church as to that marriage. and each tribe some universal truth of truth therein. But what each tribe signifies has not hitherto been revealed to anyone, nor could it be revealed, lest by an ill-connected explanation, the sanctity which lies concealed in the several conjunctions into one should be profaned, for their signification is determined by their conjunction. Actually, it's a lot. Maybe someone wants to read from item 2.
I can read.
Go ahead.
They have one signification in the series in which they are named according to their nativities, where the
Native,
series.
maybe native, yeah, like native language.
Mhm.
Native, yeah.
Nativities.
Yeah, it's nativities, but it's about native, yeah, nativities.
Nativities.
Like birth, nativities.
Where the series of them is as follows: Reuben, Simon or Simon, Levi,
Simeon, maybe it's
Si-
Simeon. Simeon.
Si-
Simeon.
Simeon. Simeon.
Simeon,
Simeon, Levi.
Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, Benjamin. They have another signification in the series in which they are mentioned when they came to Egypt, which is as follows: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Gad, Asher, Joseph, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali.
It's a name
Yeah.
of children of Israel.
Okay.
Mhm.
Another in the series in which they are blessed by their father Israel, which is this: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Zebulun, Issachar, Dan, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Joseph, Benjamin. Another in the series in which they are blessed by Moses, which is Reuben, Judah, Levi, Benjamin, Joseph, Ephraim,
Joseph. Joseph.
Joseph,
Jo-
Ephraim,
Joseph. Mhm.
Manasseh, Zebulun, Gad, Dan, Naphtali, Asher. Here, Ephraim and Manasseh are mentioned, and not Simeon and Issachar. Another in the series in which they encamped and journeyed, which was this: the tribe of Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun to the east, the tribe of Reuben, Simeon, and Gad to the south, the tribe of Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin to the west, the tribe of Dan, Asher, and Naphtali to the north, and the tribe of Levi in the middle. Another in the series in which they are mentioned in other places, as Genesis, blah 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 blah. Therefore,
Mhm.
when Balaam saw Israel dwelling according to their tribes, he said, "How good are thy tabernacles, O Jacob, and thy habitations, O Israel." And the breastplate of judgment, which was the Urim and Thummim, wherein were 12 precious stones, according to the names of the sons of Israel. The signification of the tribes in their series was determined by the interrogation, to which they return an answer. But what they signify in the series in which they are here mentioned in Revelation, this being different also, shall be explained presently. The tribes signify religion, and the 12 tribes, the church, as to all things relating to it, is because tribe and scepter in the Hebrew language are one word, and the scepter is the kingdom, and the Lord's kingdom is
What is interrogation?
Interrogation.
Interrogation.
It's like inquiry. It's about like in police department. You, policeman can do interrogation. Like for investigation. Interrogation.
Interrogation.
Okay, interrogation.
Is heaven and the church. Verse 5, Revelation 7:5. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed 12,000, signify celestial love, which is love to the Lord, and this with all who will be in the Lord's new heaven and new church. By Judah, in the highest sense, it signified the Lord as to celestial love, and the spiritual sense, the Lord's celestial kingdom and the Word, and in the natural sense, the doctrine of the celestial church from the Word. But here by Judah, it signifies celestial love, which is love to the Lord, and because it is mentioned first in this series, it signifies that love with all who will be of the Lord's new heaven and new church. For the tribe first name is the all in the rest. It is as their head, and as a universal entering into all things that follow, collecting, qualifying, and affecting them, such is love to the Lord, that 12,000 signify all who are in that love may be seen above. It is known that the 12 tribes of Israel, after Solomon's time, were divided into two kingdoms, the Jewish and Israelitish. The Jewish, the Jewish kingdom represented the Lord's celestial or priestly kingdom, and the Israelitish kingdom, the Lord's spiritual kingdom or royalty. The latter, however, was destroyed when there was nothing.
Israelitish, maybe Israelitish. Israelitish.
Israelitish.
Israelitish. Like
Israelitish.
Israelitish. No, nothing.
Nothing spiritual left among them, but the Jewish kingdom was preserved, on account of the word, and because the Lord was to be born there. But when they had wholly adulterated the word, and thus they could not know the Lord, then their kingdom was destroyed. From hence it may appear that by the tribe of Judah it signifies celestial love, which is love to the Lord. But because they were such as to the word and as to the Lord, therefore by the tribe of Judah is also signified the opposite love, which is the love of self, properly the love of dominion from the love of self, which love is called diabolical love. That by Judah and his tribe is signified the celestial kingdom and its love, which is love to the Lord is evident from these passages. Judah, thy brethren shall praise thee. The scepter shall not be removed.
This word is scepter, I think.
Oh,
Scepter.
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 Scepter like rod and staff of a king. Scepter. They shall not be removed.
From Judah until Shilachim, and unto him is the adherence of the people. He bindeth his bow.
Bindeth. It's
Oh,
about bind. Yeah, bindeth.
no.
Like binds.
Bindeth.
Bindeth like binds.
Okay, oh,
By ropes.
bind. I see. Is it foul or foal?
Fall. His fall. What is this fall?
Foal.
It's like colt. Like
Foal.
donkey, baby donkey.
Foal.
foal. I can show picture. He bindeth his foal to the vine. Actually, it's baby donkey. I think. It's like horse, baby horse, and I think it's about donkey too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Foal.
Foal, yeah, like little horse. Mm-hmm. Baby horse. Bindeth his foal to the vine.
He binded his foal to the vine, and his ass colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garment in wine. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. David shall be their prince forever, and I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be a covenant of eternity with them, and I will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forever. Shout and be glad, O daughter of Zion. Jehovah will make Judah an inheritance to himself, his portion upon the land of holiness. O Judah, keep thy festivals, perform thy vows, because Belial shall no more pass through thee. Everyone shall be cut off. The Lord shall suddenly come to his temple. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto Jehovah as in the days of old. Judah shall see it to eternity, and Jerusalem unto generation and generation. Behold, the days shall come when I will raise up unto David a just offshoot. In his days Judah shall be saved. I will bring forth a seed from Jacob, and from Judah an inheritor of my mountains, that the elect may possess it. Judah was his sanctuary, and Israel his dominions. Behold, the days shall come, in which I will make a new covenant with the house of Judah. This shall be the covenant. I will give my law in the midst of them, and write it upon their heart. In those days shall 10 men take hold of the skirt of a man, a Jew, saying, We will go with you, for we have heard that God is with you. As the new heavens and the new earth which I will make shall stand before me, so shall stand your seed and your name. The kings of the nations shall be thy nursing fathers, their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow themselves down to thee with their faces upon the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. From these and many other passages, too numerous to be adduced, it is very evident that by Judah is not meant Judah, but the church, as that the Lord would enter into a new and eternal covenant with that nation, and make them his inheritance and his sanctuary to eternity. And that the kings of the Gen how to pronounce this?
Gentiles. It's like ungodly people, like who believe in like pagans.
Gentiles.
Gentiles like non-Jews, pagans. Hmm.
Kings of the Gentiles and their princes would bow themselves down to them, licking the dust of their feet and such like. Thereby the tribe of Judah, regarded in itself as meant the diabolical kingdom which is of the love of dominion from the love of self, may appear from these passages. I will hide my face from them. I will see what their latter end will be. It is a generation of perverseness.
Perverseness. Yeah.
Perverseness.
Perverseness, like perversity.
It's
Perversity.
Sorry. What? Perverseness. Mm-hmm.
Sons in whom there is no fidelity.
Fidelity. I think fidelity.
Fidelity.
Oh, loyalty.
Fidelity. Loyalty. Fidelity. Like it's like in this sense, like marital fidelity. Like when
Mhm.
wife has fidelity with her husband.
Okay.
Mhm.
Whom there is no fidelity. A nation void of counsel are they. Their vine is of the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah. Its grapes are grapes of gall. Clusters of bitterness are theirs. Their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of asps. Is this not hidden with me, sealed up in my treasures? Know that not for thy justice and the uprightness of thy heart doth Jehovah give the land of Canaan, for thou art a people of stiff neck, according to the number of thy cities, were thy gods, O Judah, according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem hast thou set altars for burning incense to Baal. You are of your father the devil, and the desires of your father you will do. They are said to be full of hypocrisy, iniquity, and uncleanness. An adulterous generation.
I think this word is like ye, maybe ye.
Ye.
You like
Ye.
yay, yay, yay.
Yeah,
Ye.
It's like
I think,
you.
yeah.
Y-
Ye.
Yeah, yeah. It's difficult to say. Yeah, it's yeah. Ah, you.
Is it a,
Mhm.
yeah, is it a, like how to say, the ancient language or the slang?
It's a KGB version. It's like old. It's like old politely language
Oh,
of Bible, like
okay.
this.
I got it.
But a lot of modern Christians read only KGB version. They love this language, and I mean every English speaking people can read this language
Mhm.
and can understand.
I
And I
see.
think it's and so from this book because I wanted to understand this kind of language, and from this book I can understand this language better. Actually, it's important for me.
Okay.
And an adulterous generation.
Generation. And Jerusalem, their dwelling place, is called Sodom. Besides other places, where it said that the nation is utterly ruined, and Jerusalem to be destroyed, as in Jeremiah and following verses and following verses. Um, of the tribe of Reuben were sealed 12,000 signifies wisdom from celestial love, with those who will be in the Lord's new heaven and new church. By Reuben, in the highest sense, is signified omniscient, omniscience, omni,
Omniscience.
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 And but transcription is like omniscience. I think we can say by two ways, omniscience and omniscience, because this transcription is like omniscience, but she
Omniscience.
says omniscience. I think both are correct.
Signified omniscience in the spiritual sense, wisdom, intelligence, and science, also faith. And in the natural sense side, but here by Reuben is signified wisdom, because it follows after Judah, by whom is signified celestial love, and celestial love produces wisdom, for love doesn't exist without its consort, which is science, intelligence, and wisdom. The consort of natural love is science, That of spiritual love is intelligence, and that of social love is wisdom. That these things
What is consort?
Consort.
It's like spouse, wife, consort. And then these things.
are signified by Reuben, follows from his being named from sight, and spiritual natural sight is science, spiritual sight is intelligence, and celestial sight is wisdom. Reuben was also the firstborn of Jacob, and therefore was called by Israel. His might, the beginning of his strength, excellent in eminence, and excellence in valor.
What is eminence?
Eminence.
Eminence, like mm, elevation, high position,
High position.
ability, eminence, and excellent in valor. Valor.
Valor.
Valor.
Valor.
It's like courage, bravery. It's a good word. Heroism.
Heroism.
Heroism. Valor. Excellent in valor.
Such indeed is wisdom from celestial love, and as Reuben from his primogeniture, I don't know,
What is this? Prima,
Primogeniture.
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 It's like birthright. Primogeniture.
Primogeniture.
Because here they had the law. If a child was born first, he had all. He had the rule to have the whole possession, like this
Oh,
inheritance of his father.
okay.
From
And as
primogeniture. Prima, yeah,
yeah,
primogeniture. Primogeniture.
primogeniture. And as Reuben from his primogeniture represented, and then signified the wisdom of the man of the church, therefore he exhorted his brethren not to kill Joseph, and was grieved when Joseph was not found in the pit. And on this account his tribe encamped on
Camped, maybe. Encamped or came? It's about camp, yeah. Encamped.
Encamped.
Encamped, like settled down. Encamped. His tribe encamped on.
the south, and was called the camp of Reuben. The south also signifies wisdom from love. Therefore, they who are in that wisdom dwell to the south in heavens, as may be seen in the word on heaven and hell. This wisdom is signified by Reuben and the prophecy of Deborah and Barak by these words. For the divisions of Reuben were great of heart. Why about
Statutes.
statutes? About thou among the sheepfolds to hear the bleatings of the flocks. And the divisions of Reuben there were great searchings of heart. The divisions of Reuben are the knowledges of every kind which have relation to wisdom. As all the tribes have an opposite signification also, the tribe of Reuben, in the sense, signifies wisdom separated.
Uh, ab- abodest.
Abodist.
Abodest, like maybe dwelling. Abodest. Okay.
From love, and thence all also separated from charity, wherefore he was cursed by his father Israel, and therefore he was deprived of his birthright. Is it?
Birthright, yeah, is right. If it's like first, who is first born, he has birthright. Firstborn.
See above 17, and therefore An inheritance was given him on the other side Jordan, and not in the land of Canaan. And instead of Reuben and
Canaan.
Canaan,
Canaan.
Canaan,
K.
Canaan.
Canaan,
Canaan.
the land of Canaan, and instead of Reuben and Simeon, the sons of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh, were acknowledged. Nevertheless, he retained the representation and thence the signification of wisdom. If you want to read?
Yeah. Yeah, go on if you can.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. What's the name of the text?
Are you asking about book?
Yeah. This
Uh,
chapter
uh,
is from what book?
uh, it's Apocalypse Revealed by Manuel Swedenborg. It's about spiritual meaning. This book, Apocalypse Revealed. It's about spiritual meaning of the book of Revelation of the Bible.
Can you give me please the chapter? I wanna like see it in red because I can't see it. Like give me the chapter, please.
Chapter.
Yeah.
Chapter 7. You can see
Thank
chapter
you.
7. Mhm.
Thank you.
Do you want to read?
I know it's fine. Thank you.
Mhm. I Are you finished? I mean, if you can continue if you can, if you're not tired. Okay.
I can't because like there is people next. I need to be muted.
Your voice is interrupting. I cannot understand what you're saying. Maybe because of your Wi-Fi connection. Like
Yeah, I can't
like.
speak because I'm not alone. Like I need to be muted.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I'll continue. Of the tribe of God were sealed 12,000, signifies uses of life which are of wisdom from that law. Also with those who will be in the Lord's new heaven and new church. By God, in the highest sense, is signified omnipotence. In the spiritual sense, the good of life, which also is use. And in the natural sense, work in this instance uses of life, because it follows after Reuben and Judah, and celestial love through wisdom produces uses. There are three things which cohere and cannot be separated: love, wisdom, and use of life. If one is separated, the other two fall to the ground, as may be seen in the angelic wisdom concerning the divine love and wisdom. That by God is signified use of life, which is also called the fruit, may appear from his being named from a troop of a heap, is also from his father Israel's blessing, and, and likewise from his inheritance. Also from the signification of God in the opposite sense. It must be known that all the tribes of Israel are here divided into four classes, as in the Urim and Thummim, and in the encamp, encampments. Encampments. What is this encampments?
Encampments.
Encampments, like tent city. Encampments. And that each class contains three tribes by reason that three cohere as one, as love, wisdom, and use, and as charity, faith, and work. For as was said, if one is wanting, the other two are not anything. Verse 6.
Yes.
Verse 6. Do you want to read maybe this verse?
What is this? Is this Christian Bible?
It's about it's Apocalypse revealed by Manuel Swedenborg. It's about spiritual meaning of the book of Revelation of the Bible. Okay. Think this reading is over today.